a sign of decision. Now she rubs the front of her neck in self-comfort due to the troubling news. So, what's Chris's reaction to that shocking news? Watch this.
Your neighbor, he has cameras. He said that the only people that left the house were you in the morning and then door shut and then the dust. That's all he has. But who left and then
Chris just says, okay, he knows that news makes him look very guilty. Chris tried to brush aside that shocking and troubling news to downplay its importance in front of the police officer. But the officer saw what Chris was trying to do, so now Chris's guilt has become very obvious. Now it seems Officer Coonrod throws Chris a little test to see how guilty Chris really feels. As you just saw, he walked a few feet behind Chris, and if you never saw a man shit his pants, watch this.
Dispatch Rook 91, you can cancel.
Look at that terrified look on his face. He thought the officer was radioing him in to arrest him right there.
Medical if they're staged.
Chris buries himself even more in his phone to escape the tension he's feeling, likely texting love messages to his secret mistress. Yep, more playing with his phone instead of figuring out solutions to find his family. The police officer, of course, is taking all of this in, and it looks like his hand is higher up on his face now, likely covering his mouth at this point in shock and disagreement with what Chris is saying, not saying, and how he's acting. Now, some light fact-finding and interrogation comes.
So what time do you work?
Usually, once I get to work, it's like 6:30 to 3:30, 4 o'clock.
You usually work nights or days?
Days.
What time do you leave the day?
What time I leave there?
No, here.
Usually between 5:30 and 6.
Alright. And was Shannon here then?
Yes. Yeah, she's still in bed.
Does she usually watch the kids, or you have daycare watch them? Or?
She usually watches the kids if I'm not.
They actually do say that he was texting the chick that he was cheating on his wife with. He was texting her in this moment while he was standing in front of the officer. I mean, there's not that. I don't think it's been like confirmed, but that's like the rumor has it that you can't arrest people on probable cause. There has to be like but you can definitely take them in for interrogation. Saying what though? Supposedly he was like texting her like what was going on. But there's like there's a lot of like things that and it makes sense. A lot of the things do make sense. Like there's a lot of theories that say that Nicole, which is the side chick, that she had a bigger role to play than what people want to admit, and that he didn't act alone. Now, there's theories that say that he couldn't have carried the body alone. That there's another one that says that when he arrived to the house, that she was already like in the back seat or something. I don't know. People like to. There's a lot of different theories at this point. Given the crime, I wouldn't be surprised at all that she was involved. Yeah. Like they can take him in for questioning, but until they actually charge him with the crime, they can't actually like arrest him and detain him there for it. So yeah, you have to wait until you're actually convicted. Moving on.
The pool! To anyone who doesn't know what Chris knows, that's a logical possibility of where she and the kids could be. They could walk to the community pool. Some people don't bring their phones to the pool. Also, very little clothes or objects get taken to the pool. So that would explain why things aren't missing. It's a hot day in August. That's where they could be. Now let's watch Chris's response to that idea.
At the pool?
Yeah.
The little rec center thing right here?
There's a pool right down there.
Yeah.
I've been here for like off and on for 3 hours. You're nothing.
Alright, I can run down there in a sec.
That's his response for a logical place they could be? He's like, I don't want to have to walk outside. It's hot out there. Stop interrupting me while I'm texting my girlfriend. Did Chris really think he could just say, I don't know where my family's at, hang back, text his mistress girlfriend, and get away with annihilating his family? Chris Watts must seriously be the dumbest person on earth.
Dude, I would have been with the cops. Like, we need to mobilize. Like, yeah, let's fucking go. Like, you need to call like the squad. You need to call as many cops as you can. We need to go do this. But this response, like this was, this dude's out of his mind. It's like what did you think was gonna happen? It's like you have a family, dude. It's like it's your wife and kids. She was very Shanann was very active on social media. She had a lot of followers too, so she used to do like vlogs and stuff like that. So people like, it's not like she lived under a rock and no one knew who this person was. Like people knew, they knew who she was. She had family members, she had friends. So it's like, what, my dude, what did you think was gonna happen? You didn't think anyone was gonna notice? A lot of like the majority of the cases that I've seen, it's like that. It's like, what did you think was gonna happen? Like, I don't understand. Like you have kids. What did you do? You think no one was gonna notice that your kids and your wife wasn't around anymore? Poof, that's it. They just disappeared. Come on now. Crazy.
It's obvious Chris doesn't want them back, so the officer now asks Chris about marital issues.
You guys have any kind of issues, marital issues, or
We're going through separation.
you are? Did you guys file it yet or anything, or just talking about?
No, we're gonna sell the house and do a separation.
And how's that going?
It's going
Civil for the most
civil,
part, or?
Then goes back to the pool idea to understand why he's not jumping on the real possibility of where he could find his family.
Does your wife go to that swim pool often, or
It just depends. I mean, on a hot day like this, I would say no.
Yeah, okay, Chris, because people go to outdoor pools on cold days. He's just making excuses so he doesn't have to walk outside on a hot August day. But Chris thinks what he's saying seems believable because he thinks everyone, including the police, are as stupid as he is.
That's at 5:27 a.m.
I'll give you the worst, but dumbest. Dude, there's some dumb people out there. Like there are some dumb like murderers and criminals. Like, really bad. So I'll give you the worst, like I said before, but dumbest, that shit spreads a little more than just this one. Like there's some really dumb ones out there.
And the overhead garage door too was left open and never shut. About that time. So either like when I pulled away and shut the door, it never shut. It was shut when you got here. So either the sensor was tripping out.
Chris now provides miscellaneous info to divert, cover his tracks, and in his mind, make himself seem more innocent. Now, Chris walks into the bedroom, but for what? Well, it's his big reveal. Watch this. Yep, Shanann's wedding band. But look at how he's holding it. Far away from his body on the tip of his pointer finger, as if he's presenting it to Nicole on a stick, clearly indicating with that body language that he doesn't want any part of what that wedding band represents. Did you notice his lips sucked in right there? That's his way of holding back a duping delight smile.
Does she do her work from a laptop, or is it
Phone.
just from the phone? It's not a joint account.
It's a joint account, but like she controls all of it. Like, she doesn't let me do the finances because I was pretty horrible back in the day, so she just kind of handles all that. She does it. I have the apps on my phone, but I don't have her login to get into it.
More excuses for inaction. The officer sees that Chris doesn't want to find them, but of course they need to be found whether he wants them to be found or not. So the officer starts asking more questions to take charge.
What days does she typically do work? Where are they based out of? Does she have someone that she reports to, though? There was no note or anything by the wedding ring? Was any of her clothes, anything like that missing? It didn't look like she went through and packed up
No, I
a
mean,
bag
she
or
is-
anything. Tell you anything about leaving, moving out?
Not moving out. I mean, the last time I talked to her was this morning. She said she was going to take the kids to a friend's house, and she asked where she was going to be. And then I've texted her today. I've never heard anything. But the car's here. Car
Right.
seats are here. Unless somebody came and picked her up. But the people that I know, nobody's heard from her. Nobody's seen her.
Right.
That, of course, was a bold-faced lie. But did he seem believable to you? First, body language of what he did okay. Making good eye contact and showing open palms. But he did a lot of subtle things which indicated a lie. Watch again.
The last time I talked to her was this morning. She said she was going to take the kids to a friend's house, and she asked where she was going to be. And then I've texted her today. I've never heard anything. But the car's here. Car
Right.
seats are here. Unless somebody came and picked her up. But the people that I know, nobody's heard from her. Nobody's seen her.
Right.
So, what do you think? First, his eye contact wasn't natural and was holding it to see if the officer was buying what he was saying, especially at the end. Second, overuse of hand gestures. He did this to overcompensate for his lie and try to come across as more convincing. Third, notice the shakiness in his voice, a lot of atypical stuttering, stammering, and pausing. Fourth, incongruency between his tonality and his words. There's no sign of shock, sadness, or being scared.
You're very right, tacos. Like shit ain't going on. He's I feel like he's talking to the officer as if he's talking to just like some random person about something that happened to both of them. That wasn't like really that big, but they're just like conversing about it. It surely does not seem like this is someone that's worried about his wife and two children that have gone missing. It's Again, if I were this officer, I would have my red flags. That's all I see around him are just like red flags sticking around. And every time he does something, it's just one that pops up, pop, 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 and it's red flags everywhere. I don't even know what to say.
Anything is smart, just drive around, see if
Here, Chris's smile is so out of control, it's disgusting.
Probably not, because, I mean, you don't know what car she's in, where she's at. I mean, obviously you're not going to see her car that's here.
What is there to smile about? Your pregnant wife and kids are missing. That's what the officer is thinking.
I've got my detective coming, just because this is kind of an odd situation.
The officer mentions calling in his detective, but excuses it as the situation is just odd. Police don't want to scare a suspect into thinking they're a major suspect, because the last thing they want is their suspect number one to hire a lawyer and shut their mouth. Police need to keep their top suspect optimistic of walking free, so the suspect keeps talking and providing information.
Tell him I'll be there in just a minute.
Next, they go into the neighbor's house to watch the security footage for the very first time.
What's that?
And here's neighbor Nate again, and Chris Watts is standing right there beside the TV. This part is unbelievable.
loading my stuff up in my coolers, my water jugs, my book bag, my computers.
Really quickly, just watch Chris. Well, no. I think that in his mind, innate, he thinks he's getting away. Up until this point right now, he thought I'm gonna get away with this.